The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and future. Brought to you by Sports Simulations and Replays on Facebook, the best Facebook group to post your project, whether it is on the tabletop, the PC, or the console. Join over 980 other fellow enthusiasts by going to Sports Simulations and Replays today on Facebook. You know of Manic Monday on Baseball Demos channel. Well, how about a Manic Tuesday between the Angels and the Tigers, fighting both for their respective divisions and maybe an American League Championship Series preview? Last night at Tiger Stadium, August 31st, Reggie Jackson got the scoring started with a single off of Jack Morris to bring home Bob Boone. 1-0 Angels in the third. And then, speaking of baseball demos, how about Mike Ivy, a 2-run shot in the fourth, gave the Tigers a 2-1 lead. He hit it off their prospective game one starter, Jeff Sond, and back came the Angels. Brian Downing, his 29th of the year, to tie the game at 2. And what's this? Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, with a solo shot to make it 3-2. 31 for him on the year. Then Mike Ivy came back and singled home Glenn Wilson to tie the game at 3 in the bottom of the fifth. And then the Angels took control. Doug DeCinces, his 25th of the year, made it 4-3. And then Reggie Jackson put it out of reach. A solo shot, his 32nd, 5-3 California. Tom Brookins with a triple in the 8th, but Jeff Sond bent but would not break. California by 5.5 now in the American League West. They beat the Tigers 5-4. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Replay 1982. Tonight, September 1st, 1982, the California Angels travel to Tiger Stadium to face the Detroit Tigers. It is Ken Forsch against Milt Wilcox on a 79-degree beautiful early fall night in Corktown. Why, hi there. I'm Ron Juckett. It's nice to be with you. I'm on over here. And I think we got ourselves a dandy. The Tigers, Orioles, and the Brewers are all within 2.5 games of each other in the American League East. You'll see California and Milwaukee in our next broadcast sometime over the weekend. But today, the Tigers have kind of hung in there. And they can still catch the Orioles, but they need to beat the Angels. I mean, this really could be a preview of the American League Championship Series. And remember, it's a best-of-5 affair. The better teams don't always win the short series. The hotter teams always do. The Angels, well, the White Sox are kind of been vanquished, but the Royals are still sticking around. So it's too early to be popping champagne corks, unlike over at Chavez Ravine with the Dodgers. But it's a big game for the Angels, too. They want to win these games. Remember, American League West winner will host games 1 and 2 of the American League Championship Series, and the last 3 will be at the American League East winner. And so we say hello to Baseball Demos. No, you should do that. You absolutely should do that. It is a wonderful place. Dave Little's group is just fantastic. How you doing, Wes? May have to join the Delphi Farms as well. Absolutely, Tim. You should do that. Yes, you should never be afraid to promote your own stuff. All right, so here is the exact situation as we start September 1st. 398 games left to go in the Major League Baseball season. You saw what we did with the Phillies and the Phillies Tuesday. Baltimore leads Detroit by a game. They both lost their last game. Milwaukee is only 2 out, but Milwaukee is about to lose Raleigh Fingers for the rest of the year. Toronto just isn't going to make a chance. In the West, right now, the Angels have won 7 of 10 in 2 straight, 5.5 games. So California can start to put some pressure on other teams. Their magic number is 26. In the East, no one's looking at magic numbers. By the way, Minnesota's won 7 straight. I'll be swizzled. Their elimination number is 4. And in the West, National League West, the Dodgers' magic number is 12. Think about that for a second. As Milt Wilcox takes his warm-up tosses, 8-9 on the year with a 3.57 ERA. My sister just played the word map in Words with Friends. This is Milt's 23rd start. I don't know why it's telling me that twice. His last one came on August 27th against Seattle, 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He took the loss, by the way, in that game. He walked 2 and struck out 3. So overall, 158 and 2/3 innings, 150 hits, 15 homers, 72 runs in total, 63 earned. He's walked 64 and struck out 112 and features a fastball at about 90 miles an hour. And this is a lineup he'll face. Brian Downing leads off and plays left for California. Rod Carew will bat second and play first. Reggie Jackson's in right. He'll bat third. Fred Lynn cleaning up in center. Doug DeCinces at third will bat fifth. Don Baylor, your DH, he'll go sixth. Bobby Grinch, who struggled all year, the second baseman, will bat seventh. Tim Foley, the shortstop, bats eighth. And Bob Boone, the catcher, will bat ninth. That's true. Don King was a very good promoter. And crooked as the summer day is long. Larry Herndon, by the way, is an 8-5 in left. Glenn Wilson is a 6-8 in center. Howard Johnson, if it's not your mother, it must be Howard Johnson, is not a good right fielder. He's a 2-4. Tom Brookins a 5 at third. Alan Trammell a 9 at short. Lou Whitaker a 7 at second. And Mike Lauga is your first baseman. He's a 5. Lance Parrish behind the plate, a 5 and an 8. And that gets you set up. Milt Wilcox is set up to go a complete game if he can. He should go about 130. So Downing steps in at 283, 29 homers and 70 RBI. September baseball underway as Downing draws a walk. So the 3-1 pitch was inside, and that brings up Rod Carew at 328, 3 homers and 37 RBI. Wilcox deals, and it gets away from Parrish, but Downing doesn't go anywhere. So it's technically ball 3 and not a wild pitch. So a 3-0 count to Carew. Wilcox deals, grounder up the middle to Milcox. Whitaker for 1, Lauga for 2. So 1-4-3 on the double play. That was a comebacker to Wilcox, not Milcox. Jeez, Ron. So 1-4-3 and 2 out for Reggie Jackson at 273, 32 homers and 90 RBI. And as always, that is the pitcher's best friend. From the line, Jackson slaps one down to pass Lauga, and Howard Johnson fields it. So Reggie, who smashed 2 home runs last night, starts tonight with a single. First hit for the Angels, and that brings up Freddie Lynn at 296, 16 homers and 74 RBI. Pitch to Lynn, ball 4. So Wilcox got away with getting 2 on the double play, but that's already his 4th base runner. 3-1 was just a bit inside. DeCinces at 321, 25 homers and 83 RBI. Milt delivers, fly ball, pop-up, third base side, Brookins. And somebody from Windsor across the Ambassador made that play. So the count is 0-2. Pitch to DeCinces, struck him out. So we got him looking, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Angels strand 2. Half an inning in the books. California 0. Here come the Tigers. And it's Ken Forsch, not Bob, Ron. You should know better. Kenny looking for win number 15 on the year. A 3.31 ERA as the kids behind me scream outside. This is his 29th start of 1982. His last time out was last Saturday, I think, against the Red Sox. 7 2/3 innings at Fenway. 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He took the loss. He walked 2 and struck out 1. So overall, 212 innings, 186 hits, 25 home runs, and that's always dangerous in this park. 90 runs total, 78 earned. He's walked 72 and struck out 67. Against the Tigers in Anaheim on August 20th, he took a no decision, 5 runs and 5 in the third. And here's the lineup he'll face. Lou Whitaker will lead off and play second. Glenn Wilson's in center. He'll bat second. Larry Herndon, the left fielder, bats third. Lance Parrish will clean up. Jerry Turner, your DH tonight. Not Mike Ivy. Sorry, Mr. Demos. Howard Johnson's in right. He'll bat sixth. He's a switch hitter. Mike Laga, might be his first game of the year, will play first and bat seventh. Tom Brookins will bat eighth, and my good buddy Alan Trammell will play short and bat ninth. Defensively for the Angels, Downing a 6 and a 3 in left. Fred Lynn a 7 and a 5 in center, and Reggie Jackson a 3 and a 6 in right. Around the infield, the Sensei's a 9 at third. Foley a 6 at short, Gritch a 7 at second, and Carew a 7 at first. Bob Boone, almost as good as you can get, a 10 range and a 9 arm. Whitaker at 308, 19 homers and 61 RBI. Yep, Gibson's gone for the year. This is the California Angels. How you doing, Terry? Glad to have you along. And Alpha Chatter, good to have you along. So the pitch to Whitaker is a fly ball to right. Jackson moves over into foul territory and makes the catch for the out. Glenn Wilson at 233, Gibson's replacement. 6 homers and 26 RBI. Force rocks and deals. Fly ball to right center. Lynn goes back for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down for Herndon. Larry at 295, 20 homers and 80 RBI. How you doing, Steve P? Nice to have you along. Forces pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Gritch to Carew, and that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, no errors. 1 in the books here at Tiger Stadium. It's California. Nothing. Detroit. Nothing. So Baylor, Gritch, and Foley for California. Don at 272, 25 homers, and 94 RBI. No score. California put on 4 runners and couldn't get anybody home. Pitch to Baylor, and there's a base hit right side. Johnson picks it up off that grass. Laga should have had it. And so the Angels have Wilcox's number so far, but nothing on the scoreboard to show for it. Here's Gritch at 220, 14 homers and 73 RBI. Wilcox's pitch, ball 4. Any pickoff bat? Not with these runners, no. Here's Foley at 242. Timmy has 2 homers and 43 RBI. Nobody out. Boone on deck. Brookins and Laga play for the bunt. Wilcox's pitch. Foley does drop one down. Wilcox over to Whitaker covering. And that's a good sacrifice. So it goes 1-4 on the card. And Boone is at the plate at 241. 6 homers and 42 RBI. Baylor on third. Gritch on second. 1 out. Wilcox delivers. Ground ball to Brookins. He'll throw home. They got Baylor wrapped up. And the tag is on. So Boone will reach, but they don't care. It was an easy hopper to Brookins, and they got Baylor caught in the rundown. So 5-2. 5-2. Which is not Jenny's number. So I'll bring up Brian Downing, who walked his first time up. Wilcox living the life of Riley right now, an inning and 2/3. 38 pitches. 2 hits and 3 walks. And a strikeout, but there's a 0 by California on the scoreboard. And that's all that matters. Wilcox steals. Fly ball to left. Herndon has it. So the Angels get nothing out of it, and they like it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. They've left 4 on through 2. Inning and a half down. California, nothing. The Tigers, nothing. So 79 degrees, a gorgeous late summer night here in Detroit. Winds blowing at 9 from right to left. It'll be Parrish, Jerry Turner overdrive, and Howard Johnson. Parrish at 297, 26 homers and 81 RBI. Force delivers. Parrish in the shallow center. In comes Lynn. 1 out. Well, Jerry Turner's done yeoman's work as the DH at 259, 3 homers and 17 RBI. Force winds and deals, and there's a fly ball left field, Downing in the corner, and he's got it on the warning track. 2 quick out. So Force is a force to be reckoned with so far. Here's Howard Johnson, 271, a homer, and 4 RBI. Hope your Thursday's going well, gang. Pitch to Johnson, ground ball to third. To Sensei, to Carew, and that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, no errors. 2 down in the books. And the score is a neat and tidy 0-0. It'll be Carew, Jackson, and Lynn to face Wilcox in the third. Yes, you can create your own teams and leagues. It's relatively easy to create your own leagues, and you can import teams from anything that you've done. So that's how I did the Patreon video. Well, yours, right? No, yours was an actual game. Kirk Berkland's project I just did. Imported the 82 Brewers and the 2018 Brewers, made a separate league, and manually did the schedule. So, yes, yeah, you can. The Sensei sounds like a martial artist. Let's go Mets. You know what, Gardner? Sometime I'm going to have to do a Mets replay and see what you have to say about that. Dave's off running around to get his new body painting supplies. He watched Goldfinger last night after the Bruins lost and picked up some inspiration. Rod Carew is 0 for 1. He grounded into a double play. Wilcox starts the third with a ground ball up the middle. Whittaker over to Laga for the out. A minor league. There's some homebrew minor league seasons. Dave Gardner is the one you should actually talk to about editing and adding players, because he's created a couple teams for the hockey game, and it's very similar. What minor league would you be interested in doing? Is he trying to brush up on his painting? He's always trying to brush up on his painting. And we tell him, you've got a lot more brushing up to do. Reggie Jackson singled his first time up. Wilcox's pitch. Fly ball to right. Johnson. Wow, that was a rainmaker that ran out of steam. The wind's actually blowing out to right center at 9 now, and that's the catch for the out. So Lynn is walked his first time up. Wilcox might get that 1-2-3 inning. The 2002 International League. Check sportsreplays.net, all one word, and see what's there, because there are a number of minor league teams that have already been done. And since Dave Koch doesn't sell minor league seasons, perfectly okay to do. Yeah, take a look to see if it's already been done, but it is possible to do. It's a weekend project, I would think, but take a look at sportsreplays.net to see what is already there. And if you haven't poked around there, that's just a treasure trove. Here's Freddie. He walked his first time up. Wilcox pitch, and there's a little looper that's going to get past Trammell, and Lynn is on with a 2-out single. So no clean inning for Wilcox, and that'll bring up the Sensei, who struck out his first time up. Milt's pitch. Ground ball to Brookins, and it's off his glove. A long throw to Laga. He picked it up, he got the handle, and he threw him out on a bang-bang play. So Brookins made almost the error, recovered it, and retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2.5 in the books. California, nothing. Detroit, nothing. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Well, you could. I mean, you could go have like a ball stat program and keep score that way. In the box score, it kind of gives you the score card in that sense. But the stat package is actually pretty good in action, I think. It is Mike Laga's first at bat in the majors this year. So in the last month of the year, he hit .261, 3 homers, and 11 RBI. And he'll face Kenny Force here to start the third. Can you play the same team against each other? Oh, absolutely you can. Once you have the teams, you can do whatever you want with them. You can even have them play themselves, if you so chose. But yep, that's what the next project I'm doing is the 86 Red Sox and 2004 Red Sox. Al, Red Sox fan, actually did a tournament of best Red Sox teams. You know who won? The Red Sox. Pitch to Laga is a ground ball up the middle. Grich behind the bag, almost on the grass, throws it over to Carew for the out. Oh, God, I forgot. No, George Hendricks with the Cardinals, remember? He's not with the Angels anymore. Alice doesn't live here anymore. Here's Tom Brookins. He's at 230. 6 homers and 29 RBI. Bottom of the third, no score between the Angels and the Tigers. Brookins, ground ball to Foley. Long throw to Carew, 2 out. Actually, I can tell you who lost was the Yankees. No, if you're doing an all Red Sox tournament, the Red Sox are going to always win. Tom Brady isn't that good yet, Dale. Alan Trammell, my buddy, my hero, has bounced back 251, 7 homers, and 47 RBI. Gives me the stink eye as he comes to the plate. Forces pitch. Ground ball to Carew. Ron will take it himself. And out will retire the side. 9 up, 9 down for the Tigers. We've played 3. California nothing, Detroit nothing. Used to use ball stat, was a steep learning curve for setting it up and getting used to scoring a game. It does, and that's what I do for my offline cards and dice projects is ball stat. The lineups are already there. If you go to Mark Miller's baseball goodies page, which I think is part of ball stat, the downloads there are incredible. And so if you get the lineups all done, if you're doing it as played, I'm up and running in 2 or 3 minutes. And you just got to make sure that when you add a reliever, if a relief pitcher didn't start a game, you just got to add him in the first time and it keeps it. And since I'm a keyboard guy, it just really flies. Don Baylor, Bobby Grich, and Tim Foley as we start the fourth. Don is 1 for 1. He's got himself a single. Wilcox delivers, and there's a ground ball to Whittaker over to Lago, 1 out. You can score games with a replay, but you got to have the season that you're doing. Yeah, same with Strat, which I think is how ID is doing his 2011 cards replay. Is that way. Went back to Excel for my current project. Just feel more connected. Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I'm glad I don't have to. I scored the games, and then it does all the work for me, which is great. But there's a lot of people like Steve P. I remember in college, people would take their stats and run them through Excel, or because I'm so old, Lotus 123. Sportsreplays.net, all one word. Strat is the same way for their PC. You can roll the dice, determine the outcome, and enter the outcome in the program. You have to have the season. Yeah, Sports Time Machine, who just stopped in, does that. He loves it. It just becomes very intuitive. And you get to roll your own dice, which a lot of people like. Bobby Grich walked his first time up. Pitch from Wilcox. Popped up a right side run. Right side. Whittaker's there, and there's 1 away. For Timmy Foley, who sacrificed his first time up. 2 out, top of the 4th, no score. Pitch to Foley, ground ball to Laga, takes it to the bag himself, and the Angels finally go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3.5, it's still California nothing, Detroit nothing. So Ken Force has retired all 9 men he's faced on 34 pitches in 3 innings. Hasn't walked anybody, hasn't struck out anybody. So I'll tell you that Lou Whittaker's 0 for 1, but I think you already knew that. Steve P says, I remember being such a nerd when I was a kid. We figured out how to program my dad's calculator to pick a split number between 1 and 20. I love it. Al, how are you? You can't chat much, but that would be awesome if you hit the like. About you Trammel, about our Trammel history. Oh, I appreciate the AFL game. Tomorrow night, by the way, DC, the two teams in the AFL actually met in week 2. So tomorrow night at 7, the AFL swings in RSN with the Houston Oilers and the Los Angeles Chargers, 7 o'clock kickoff. Just one of these Tiger games earlier in the season, and Trammell, I think, was hitting like 220 at the time. And so he was supposed to hit 262. And so I mentioned something about Trammell being in a slump, and he went like 4 for 5 in the game or something like that. So we just kind of made it up that the press box, if you remember, here at Tiger Stadium was right close to the field. And so you've heard players talk about all the time about being able to listen to Ernie Harwell and stuff. So it's not too far of a stretch to imagine that I said something that he might have heard and ticked him off. Pitch to Whittaker after all. That is a fly ball to left center. Lynn goes back and makes the catch, 1 out. An abacus. Yes, Todd. So, yeah, the cat's now protesting. Glenn Wilson is 0 for 1. Forsch deals. Ground ball to Carew. Forsch goes over to first. Carew flips. And there's 2 out. Brings up Larry Herndon is 0 for 1. Yeah, Tiger Stadium was a great place for baseball. You know what? So is Co-America. That's a nice park. Pitch to Herndon. Popped up. Gritch squints into the lights and makes the catch. 12 up, 12 down. After 4, California and Detroit are scoreless in Seattle. Or Detroit, whatever. So Boone, Downing, and Carew to face Wilcox here in the 5th. And Bob is 0 for 1. Wilcox winds and deals. Base hit left side. And Roberts got himself a single. So through 18 batters, that was a better run for Wilcox. 4+ innings, 4 hits, no runs. He's walked 3 and struck out 1 on 67 pitches. Downing is 0 for 1 with a walk. Did Hendrick hear what you said? No, I don't know. I haven't done a Cardinal game since then. But that was funny. That was really funny. Reggie tagged 2 Dale last night, and the Angels come from behind. Well, now it's really howling out there. 14 to right center. Wilcox deals, and Downing slaps that one past Trammell. And so the Angels have runners on first and second. Nobody out for Carew, who was 0 for 2 and grounded into a double play. You were probably one of those people, Todd, in the 86 series that sat there and chanted Darryl Strawberry's name. Pitch to Carew. Ball 4. So Wilcox has him loaded for Reginald Martinez Jackson, who singled. He's 1 for 2. He's waving the bat back and forth. He has 1 grand slam on the year. No score, top the 5th. Angels have Boone on third, Downing on second, Carew on first. Wilcox deals. Reggie, fly ball to right. Hojo goes away back. It's gone. He turned and watched it go, and Reggie Jackson has hit a grand slam, his 6th of the year against the Tigers, and his 33rd dinger of 1982, and it's 4-0 California. And that cheer you hear is from Baltimore. Hojo had no chance. That just missed that second deck that juts out above the first. And so Wilcox now is behind 4-0. And here's Freddie Lynn. Freddie walked and singled. He's 1 for 1. So Wilcox danced around like he was barefoot in a Lego pile. And at some point, you knew it was just going to come back to bite him. Pitch to Lynn. Fly ball to right. That will stay in the yard. Johnson's there. one away. Brings up the Sensei, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So Sparky's got to wonder. The Tigers just weren't in the race, I don't think, all that much in September. Their margin of error is very slim. To Sensei, ground ball, base hit, past Laga. Johnson comes in to field it, and that's the 7th Angel hit. Brings up Don Baylor, who's 1 for 2. We just told that story. I don't have a personal beef with Trammell. It was just that he was slumping, and I made something about slumping, and it just made for a good storyline. Did Carew ever? Yeah, he had 388 and 77, as Todd V said. Did Gene Autry ever make the trip to Detroit on horseback? Maybe in the 30s to pick up his Cadillac Seville. Baylor. No, DeCinces doesn't go. He wanted to, so 1-0 the count. Wilcox from the stretch. Fly ball to left. Herndon has it. DeCinces retreats back to first, and there's 2 away. For Bobby Grich, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Yeah, I'm sure Carew had other batting titles, but 388 and 77 was definitely his. Grich is 0 for 1 with a walk. 2 out, 4-0 Angels. There goes to Sensei. The throw down to Whittaker is in time. So Parrish guns him down. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Halfway home, California 4 on the grand slam by Reggie. Detroit, nothing. And so let's put up the box score. What's going to work this time? How about that? It didn't the other day. I have nothing personal against Alan Trammell. My boss from the store is a huge Tiger fan. And so, but his favorite player was Al Kaline. But Trammell and Whittaker, good people. Not a great manager, but a good player. So Reggie 2 for 3 with the 4 RBI for California. And Detroit, well, yeah, truckload of Bengals on that box score. And I don't need to read you Forsh's line. You can read that yourself. Wilcox, 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He has walked 4, the granny. 46 strikes and 38 balls. So Parrish, Turner, and Johnson. But here in the bottom of the 5th for Detroit. Pitch to Lance, popped up, left side. Foley and DeCinces go back for it. Foley actually goes back in the outfield and makes the catch 1 away. For Jerry Turner, who's 0 for 1. Oh. Not going to hide that on me. Mike was on third and slowing runners down. That's bad. Did he ever? Yeah, he was with Minnesota, Dale, in '77. I'm sure that I can't open up Baseball Reference. I think he won 2 or 3 with Minnesota, to be honest. 6. Yeah, that would make sense. He was clearly the best hitter in the American League in the 1970s. Jerry Turner's 0 for 1, popped up behind the plate. Boone takes off the mask, goes to the screen, and has got it. So 2 out for Howard Johnson. Forsh's pitch, ball 4. So the Tigers finally get a base runner. Not everyone's perfect. And that brings up Mike Laga, who's 0 for 1. So Hojo on first. 2 out, bottom of the 5th. Throw down to Carew, and Hojo's back. So a 1-0 count to Mike Laga. And there goes the no-hitter. That goes to the wall in right center. Laga's got extra bases, and the Tigers are in business here in the bottom of the 5th with 2 out. So Laga with a double. Howard Johnson is at third, and now bring up Tom Brookins. So no for Kenny Forsh. Pitch to Brookins. Popped up left side. Downing is there, and shallow left to make the catch. So the Tigers strand 2. They finally get a hit, no errors. 5 in the books, California 4, Detroit nothing. 7, all with the Twins. Thanks for hitting that like button, Appa. Yeah, Carew and Ichiro to me are really similar. Yeah, like he really was the best hitter in the 70s. Different game than Gritch is 0 for 1 with a walk. Yep. In 76, Greg Nettles won the home run title in the American League with 32. Gritch sends this one to right. Howard is there. Johnson makes the catch, one away. So, they just could hit to any field. I think Carew could have hit with more power if he chose to, kind of like Wade Boggs in that respect, and Tony Gwynn. But when you can single twice a night, you're getting on is getting on. It doesn't matter how you do it. Foley's 0 for 1. Wilcox deals, and there's a ground ball base hit past Laga. And the Angels now have 8 hits, 1 out here at the top of the 6th. 4-0 California. Here is Bob Boone. 1 for 2 with a run scored and a single. Parrish goes out to chat with Wilcox. And from the stretch, popped up left side. Well, no, it's a fly ball to center. Glenn Wilson makes the catch as I go and have my instant cataract surgery. Follow the ball, not the shadow run. Okay. Brian Downing is 1 for 2. He's got himself a single, run scored, and a walk. So Wilcox, 5 2/3 innings, 94 pitches, 8 hits. The big blow being the grand slam by Reggie. So all 4 runs are earned. He has walked 4 and struck out 1. He's struck him out. He got him to swing and miss at a fastball, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 5.5. California 4, the Tigers nothing. Stolen home, yep, table center. Wow. Yeah, 20. Who would I compare him to now? Carew? No one kind of hits that way anymore. I mean, Ichiro was so good at it. I mean, power is such a big part of the game today. We're getting in the way of your puns. Unless bunny for why would no one can bunt? Well, sometimes a good sacrifice. You put the ball in play and you might get an error out of it. So, and that's right. Stealing home is an art form. I'll take a Trammell jersey. And yeah, Demos needs his paycheck, so priorities. Trammell's 0 for 1, by the way. Fly ball to right. Reggie's there, 1 away. So Trammell's 0 for 2. I say nothing. Lou Whitaker is 0 for 2. Forrest finally lost his no-hitter in the 5th. 5 1/3, 65 pitches. 1 hit and 1 walk. Pitch to Whitaker. Ground ball to Carew. Takes it to the bag himself for the second out. For Glenn Wilson, who again is 0 for 2. So Forrest cruising right along here in the bottom of the 6th. Pitch to Wilson. Ground ball to Foley behind the bag at second over to Carew, and that will retire the side. No, it doesn't. The throw gets away. It was high, and Carew leaped and couldn't get it. So it's an error on Foley, and Wilson is on with a 2-base error. For Larry Herndon, who's 0 for 2. So the Tigers catch a break. Forsh's pitch. Herndon fly ball to right. Jackson goes back there. Makes the catch along the warning track. And now, no runs, no hits, 1 error. After 6, it's the Angels 4, the Tigers nothing. Yeah, we'll get taught a George Hendrick one. Cardinals, Indians, or A's? Well, that's why we do everything on demand too. So if you can't catch it live, they're always there for your insomnia pleasure. Go to the top of the 7th. Rod Carew at the plate. Rod is 0 for 2. He has scored and walked. Wilcox had 100 pitches, not giving me the fatigue warning, so we'll keep running him out there. Carew, ground ball up the middle. Whitaker, long throw to Laga. 1 out for Reggie Jackson, who has singled and hit a grand slam. So Reggie now has 33 on the year, home runs that is, and 94 RBI. And look at that big old grin on his pick. Pitch to Jackson, fly ball to right, another rainmaker, but that one stays in the yard. And Howard Johnson's there. It's now blowing out the center at 14. Old Glory is pointing right at the scoreboard. And 73 degrees. It has just dropped dead gorgeous in Corktown. Freddie Lynn is 1 for 2. He is singled and drawn a walk. As we work 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Pitch from Wilcox is a little looper that's going to get between Laga and Johnson. And that's the 9th hit for the Angels. So Fred's on first. 2 out for DeCinces, who's 1 for 3 and a strikeout. Is it Ron or is it Memorex? My wife says it's Memorex. Is Hendricks' jersey a pullover? Oh, man. Like I said, you got to tell me that story, Todd, of why you hate George Hendrick. Wilcox delivers. And DeCinces, Lynn was going to steal, but couldn't get a good jump. So it's a 0-1 count to DeCinces. Wilcox delivers. Fly ball center field. Wilson goes way back there, and it's gone. So Doug DeCinces makes it 6-0 on the 2-run bomb to dead center field. And that's his 26th of the year. And as we show you the replay, out marches Sparky Anderson. So the Angels will knock 1 off their magic number with this, maybe. Bullpen was free last night, and so who do we go with? Righty. And we'll bring in Dave Tobik, who is 4-3 with 6 saves. Oh, by the way, we have ourselves a pitching change. This game is coming to you from Tiger Stadium in Detroit. Tobik making his 19th appearance of the year. 2.08 ERA, 34 2/3 innings, 19 hits. He went 2 innings 2 nights ago against Seattle and struck out 2. Picked up his 6th save of the year. He's given up 2 home runs, just 9 runs total. 8 earned. He has walked 4 and struck out 24. At Anaheim, he's pitched 4 times against the Angels. His last time was the 22nd. He walked 1, struck out 1, and gave up a hit in a 2-inning save. 2 out, top of the 7th for Don Baylor, who's 1 for 3 with a single. Right back to Tobin. Over to Laga. And that will retire the side. Go grab your Strohs. Last call for alcohol. Time to stretch it here in Corktown. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors on the home run by DeCinces. California 6, Tigers nothing. And just a reminder, if you like this channel, well, we know you like the channel. Hey, we got a bunch of Patreon projects coming up. We're going to do another one for Kurt, involving the 86 Red Sox and the 04 Red Sox. Watch for that next week. So if you are interested in any Action PC game and any Action PC teams, $10 gets you what you want, or terms are negotiable for tournaments and stuff like that. That's how we did that 70s show. Or if you just want to throw a tip in the jar and become a patron and get mentioned like Dale Lonsdale, Bobby Catalano, Al Red Sox fan, Applebot, Lagacta Live, and Baseball Demos, Mr. Dave Armstrong himself, Dows and others, Fanomatic, John Marichich. You know, it's Patreon/Retro Sports Network. You just being here is good enough for me, but if you consider it, I would take it, because like Dolly Support, I thank you, Dolly Parton, to her bra, I thank you for your support. You can't get the punch lines right, Chuck. Don't do them. Okay, Parrish, Turner, and Johnson to face Forsh here in the 7th. Lance is 0 for 2. Pitch from Forsh. It hit him. No fight this time. Hit him in the ribs, and Parrish trots to first for Turner, who was 0 for 2. Did I use as-played relievers for, No. No, I don't. I do for when I'm doing the cards and dice, but because the game simulates everything, you really can't do it because you don't know who's going to be fresh and who's not. I'm sure John Wathan is someone's... Maybe Hendricks went to Michigan. Oh, boo. Isn't John... I'm sure John Wathan is someone's least favorite player. You know what? There are people who actually love Bucky Dent. We won't say who. But some people love him. I don't. Turner's 0 for 2. Base hit right side. Jackson gets it on a hop. Parrish is going to hold at second. And so the Tigers got something cooking here in the bottom of the 7th. Runners on first and second for Howard Johnson. And speaking of cooking, remember, if it's not your mother, it must be Howard Johnson. I bet he can microwave his own macaroni and cheese just as good as anybody else. Boone and Forsh have a few words, probably not about macaroni and cheese. And that's Sky to center. Lynn is right there to make the catch. Parrish will. Cheslin's arm, the throw goes into the sensei, and it gets away from Doug, and Parrish will score. And Turner, who turned on the overdrive, is up on third. So it's an E8. Lynn just uncorked a bad one, and DeCinces, doing his best to be a bad hockey goalie, I won't say Tuukka Rask, that'd be mean, had to get past him, and the run scores. So it's 6-1. 1 out for Mike Lago, who's got a double, 1 for 2. Yes, part of your happy childhood. Todd B. George Hendrick 82 jerseys, $169.99. Wow, that's overpriced by about $169. Pitch to Laga, struck him out. First for 4, she got him on a 1-2 looking, and there's 2 out for Tom Brookins, who's 0 for 2. God. Force delivers, got him! When he had to bear down, he did. He got him on a late called strike 3. Brookins looks over at the umpire, and Stevie Wonder says, you don't pay me enough to root for you. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. After 7, California 6, Tigers 1. Bobby Grich, Tim Foley, and Bob Boone here in the 8th to face Tobic. Grich is over 2 with a walk. And Tobic, base hit, left center field. Everyone kind of converges on it, and no one can pick it up. So Grich has a single, 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Angels. They've left 6 on so far. Tigers a run on 2 hits, no errors. And they have stranded 4. Tim Foley is 1 for 2. How you doing? I am Sporticus. Did he buy a Lazy Boy recliner from you? That's cool. Pitch from Foley. Ground ball to Foley. Laga steps on first for the sure out. Grich will go to second. And there's 1 away here in the 8th. For Bob Boone, who's 1 for 3 with a run scored and a single. Tobic's pitch struck him out. He got him to swing on a 1-2 curve. And that's 2 outs for Downing. 6-watt Angels, top of the 8th, 2 out. Pitch. Got him. He takes down Downing on a 2-2 fastball. Swung on and missed. No runs, a hit, no errors. 7.5 in the books. California 6, Detroit 1. So glad you're all doing well this afternoon. It'll be Trammell, Whittaker, and Wilson. Allen It's not my fault, Alan. Pitch from Forge. Trammell, short little number to Foley on the grass over to Carew. And Carew stays on the bag for the out. 1 out for Lou Whitaker. So Forge threw 27 batters, 94 pitches, 7 1/3 innings. 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Pitch to Whitaker, who's 0 for 3. Popped up right side. Carew in the hole, makes the catch. 2 out. The only player I've really genuinely disliked. Can you guess? I'll give you a guess. Actually, there's a couple that I've disliked. I'll give you that. One is probably painfully obvious, but the other one may not be so. Glenn Wilson's 0 for 3. It's not Glenn Wilson. Pitch from Forge, and Wilson laces out one to left right at Brian Downing. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 8, California 6, Detroit 1. So Carew, Jackson, and Lynn to face Tobik here in the 9th. How many players don't play with their real name? Quite a few. No. As a kid, it was the World Series that kind of turned me off into Stanley. It wasn't that I disliked Stanley. It's the fact I disliked the fact that the Red Sox used him as much as they did. But if I ran into Bob at like a grocery store, I wouldn't run him over. I used to have a Bob Stanley 8x10 card, as a matter of fact. One of those supersized Topps cards from 1980. Carew is 0 for 3. He's walked and scored. Tobik delivers, and there's a base hit right side. Got through the hole. Carew's going for 2. The throw into Trammell. No. So Carew took advantage of a slowpoke Johnson and turned a single into a double. And that brings up Mr. Jackson, who is 2 for 4. He singled homered. 4 RBI. So, nope. You haven't named either one yet. Pitch to Jackson. There's a base hit that's going to get down into no man's land in right center. Carew will hold it. No, Carew's going to try and score. Hojo's got it. He's gunning for home. Oh, bleep. No, it's the right play to throw down to Parrish, and it gets away from Lance Parrish. Carew scores easily. Jackson moves to second. That's an E9 as Johnson uncorks a terrible throw. So E9 is now 7-1 Angels as Reggie moves on to third. For Freddie Lynn, who's 2 for 3. So not what the Tigers want at all. Pitch to Lynn. Ground ball to Brookins. Going for the sure out at first. Why not? And there's finally one away. Reggie scores 8-1. So California has turned this into a laugher. I bet you did. Steve P. Always a fan of the Fruit Loop. Mickey Tettleton. Before he got to the year before we got the Double-A Yankees farm team, we had the A's. We were giving Tettleton the what for, and he was on deck and looked at me and sucked my tushy. Oh, Steve, where was that? Oh, goodness gracious. The Sensei's 2 for 4. 8-1 California, top of the 9th. Had a 2-run shot earlier. Ground ball to Whitaker over to Laga for the second out. Albany. I'm from Glens Falls originally. Yep. I know when you lived around there. The Albany Colony A's played at Bleecker Field. And the name was appropriate for the quality of that field. Beyond bleak. Don Baylor 1 for 4. You should have tipped your cap and applauded. That's great. That is absolutely great. Tobik delivers, and there's a ground ball, base hit into left center field. The cat screaming at the door, and Baylor's on with a hit. Comes Bobby Grich 1 for 3. Bob Lacey of the Rangers gave you the finger time when he ragged him as a teenager in Cleveland. So you were one of the 5 fans that was there. Well, that's right. They built the new park in Colony, and then they didn't stay very long there. Now they're in the New York Penn League in Troy. Are they Houston's team? The Tri-City whatever's? Fisher Cats no, that's something else. Pitch to Grich is a long drive to left. That's going to get to the wall. Baylor will round third and score. Grich is on his way to third for a triple, and he's in there. So Tobik's getting a rack. We've reached the 5-year-old kid in the haunted house portion of the program. Tim Foley 1 for 3 with a single. You got rookie A-ball and Troy. Valley Cats. Is it Houston or... Tobik deals, and Foley strikes out on an 0-2 pitch. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. The Tiger fans are going home after 8.5. California 9, Detroit 8. Yep. Cleveland Stadium reeked of hemp products in the late 70s. No wonder why George Hendrick liked it so much, right? So did every concert. So did every arena in America. Larry Herndon, Lance Parrish, and Jerry Turner. 85-94, so longer than I thought. We had in Burlington. We had the Reds, and then the Mariners. I got to see Ken Griffey Jr. take batting practice, and they moved to a bigger city, as a matter of fact. And then we got the Expos short season single A, and was the Nationals for a while, and they moved to I think it was Harrisburg or Potomac, someplace closer to DC, and we ended up with Oakland's team, and that's what's been here ever since. Herndon is 0 for 3. Tigers need 8 to tie, 9 to win. Force looking for the complete game. Ground ball up the middle. Grich over to Carew, 1 away. Movan, Scott Cooper. Red Sox were in New Britain for a long time for their Double-A. Glens Falls had the Tigers. Before that, the White Sox. Ron Kittle played in Glens Falls. John Smoltz played in Glens Falls. He used to love baseball before that. At Eastfield on Dix Avenue, Lance Parrish is 0 for 2 with a run scored. Forrest delivers. Struck him out, so we're down to brass tacks here. So here's Jerry Turner, 1 for 3. Forrest looking for the complete game. He's tossed a 2-hitter. Yeah, still is the case in a lot of parks demos. Tomei, Bell, Ramirez in Double-A. Yeah, I didn't realize that they stayed in Albany until '94. We moved to Central Vermont in the '86 season. I'm surprised Albany isn't a big enough market for Double-A. I can understand Glens Falls and Burlington now, but Albany should have been big enough. Anyway, Turner's 1 for 3. Fly ball to right. Reggie squeezes the glove, and Ken Forsch has 2 hit the Tigers here this afternoon, 9-1. Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say all good things must end. Chris Bando, Sal Rende, Ivan Calderona, Joe Charbonneau in Double-A. No, Mo was never thin. So our MVP is going to be Ken Forsch. He throws a 2-hitter, does not give up an earned run. He walked 1. He allowed 1 run. He struck out 3. He threw 111 pitches and had a game score of 83. Milt Wilcox, 6 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, all earned, with 2 homers. The grand slam by Reggie was the backbreaker. 4 walks and 2 strikeouts, and Tobik just fired bat. He had plus stuff. No, he didn't. I always love it when the game says that, and it's pretty clear he didn't. Although you could argue that Reggie Jackson should be MVP. He went 3 for 5 with 5 RBI. And so the Angels moved to 79 and 53. The Tigers go to 74 and 57. Yeah, a 2-hitter. Yeah, you had the Devils for a while too. Yeah. All right, let's do the rest of the day in baseball. The wild card game sometime along the way. It might even be as late as Monday night, depending on what else we got going on this weekend. It's going to be California and Milwaukee. So as you get to look at me, the rest of the day on September 1st. Hey, my pleasure, guys, and love chatting the minor leagues. All right. Toronto beat Baltimore 6-4. How about that? Dave Steve wins his 12th of the year. Sammy Stewart loses. John Lowenstein, 14th homer of the year. San Francisco beat Chicago in the rain 5-3 at Candlestick. Boston beat Oakland 5-3. Brian Denman picks up his first ever win. Dwight Evans, his 26th homer. Mets beat Houston 9-5. Pete Falcone goes to 9-10. Dave Kingman, 2 homers, 36 on the year. Not good news for the Phils. Montreal beat Cincinnati 4-2. Randy Lurch gets the win for Montreal. He threw a no-hitter earlier this year for Milwaukee, I think. Andre Dawson, 25 homers on the year. Kansas City 6, Texas 1. Paul Spludorf wins his 10th of the year. Willie Wilson, 2 stolen bases. No one's going to guess on the two players I don't like. The Yankees beat Minnesota 10-5. Dave Righetti goes to 11-6. Dave Winfield, 31 homers. Milwaukee loses to Seattle 5-3. So Detroit's loving life right now. They lose no ground to anybody. White Sox beat Cleveland 4-3. Jerry Kuzman goes to 7-6. The Dodgers have won 90 games by the 1st of September. 6-5 over St. Louis. Steve Howe goes to 8-1. Ron Say with his 20th homer. San Diego beats Pittsburgh 3-1. So the standings: California 5.5 over Kansas City. The Dodgers lead over Atlanta is 18.5. That's Secretariat numbers. Montreal by 6 over Philadelphia. Baltimore by 1 over Detroit. 2 over Milwaukee. So the next scheduled stream, as I let you look at that, is tomorrow night. By the way, the Giants and the Astros have been eliminated from postseason contention. Next scheduled stream tomorrow night at 7. The AFL on RSN, Week 2 of the 1960 season. It's a pre-play of the actual first ever AFL championship. Houston and the Los Angeles Chargers. Jack Kemp quarterbacking the Chargers. George Blanda, the Oilers. 7 o'clock tomorrow night before Dave Little's baseball game. So there you have it. You see the stats and all the standings going on. So the next baseball game, California and Milwaukee. For Retro Sports Network, I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you the next time.